Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wrestling with the Paranormal. Today's episode is. Oh, shit, I don't know what the episodes are. Okay, let me get my phone here. Here we go. Where the hell is he?
You have reached the Magician's Assistant. If this is the Enlightened one, today's episode is the Aquamen of Lake Baikal.
I love Aquaman!
So I think we've established that the Enlightened one likes Aquaman.
I think he's a big Aquaman fan.
Yeah.
But of course, this is not about Aquaman. It's about Aquamen.
Aquamen, man.
It is. What is it? It's the Aquaman of Baikal Lake.
It is, of course, the Aquamen of Lake Baikal. I hope we said that right. I mean,
of course, that's brought to you by Backshave.com.
Backshave.com.
So I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up paranormal. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
Woo, I love that intro there. And of course, I am the Magician. This is, of course, the only wrestling show, a paranormal show made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans. I nearly screwed up there.
You did a wonderful job. I love how you just you say it flawlessly.
There you go.
The flawless magician.
Of course. How are you this week? You all right?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. I'm back to my normal set. I'm off the recliner, back to the leather love seat where I got all my glorious collectibles behind me.
Of course.
Of course, we have a paranormal Coca-Cola can.
We have, of course, joined by Bree. Awesome. Yeah, Bree's obviously joining us in the comments, as always.
Hi, Bree.
Hi, Bree.
Of course, with AFW, she just won the Mrs. AFW tournament to become the first Mrs. AFW briefcase holder.
I'm calling fix on that. I'm just going to say that.
You call it fix? Oh.
Did she create the damn thing?
Well, she named it.
Yeah, but you know. You
put her in charge of it.
No, I love you, really, Bree. Of course.
All right. So what do we got on the show today?
Well, we've got something in the vault. We've got a very special bull or truth from yours truly, yourself, and then we're going to go swimming with the Aquamen of Lake Baikal.
And we also have a new thing we're adding this week. The tweet of the week.
No comment.
So Bree says you cannot fathom her glory.
We'll see about that, Bree. We'll see. Just because you're in charge of the wreckage.
You know, if you had 50 points, you could cash in on a world title shot and avenge my injury.
I know, but you see, the thing is, right, I'm trying to save mine up for the HOF.
The Hall of Fame. Of course, we're talking about our AFW prediction league. You can go to FN Wrestling and look that up and join in, and you can compete and win a prize at the end. We have fantasy championships and all that sort of thing. But let's get into the vault. It looks like it's time to open up the vault.
Do you know the combination? So I tried asking the interns for the actual code for that, and they wouldn't give it me.
They wouldn't give it to you.
No.
Did you ask Miranda?
No, I did not. I asked Steve.
Miranda's the one to ask. And look who it is, it's Noob. Hey, Noob, how's it going, buddy?
I got highest. All right, Bree.
Oh,
Ooh,
she's looking to become the first ever Women's Hall of Famer. So that's
right.
kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. Right. So, obviously, what's in the vault this week?
All right, so I scoured the back of the vault, and I got my finger in some gum, so I had to clean it out. I got the gum out of there, washed my hands, went back in, and I pulled out this video. It's from China. It's a surveillance cam from a mall, and play the video. We'll talk about it. All
Okay.
right.
Looks.
Um,
What the
there's like
hell?
a stroller here, and the camera is seeing it move, and so the people
There's no.
at the mall, they saw this in the morning, and they looked on the camera, and they looked and they saw this. Now they're zooming in. Now watch what
That,
happens with this doll inside the stroller.
whoa.
It starts to move. It's moving his head up. It's getting up. It's looking around. Oh my goodness!
This is really giving me
Is
shivers. I'm not
that
gonna.
creepy?
What the hell?
And also, you can see the orbs moving around as well.
That is, and that's from. Did you say from China?
That is a mall in China.
Wow, that is. It's just when the
I
doll
think
just sits
this
up.
is going to be one of the creepiest ones we've ever done.
Oh yeah, that is.
This
How
is
did you find that?
this is
That's
the
just.
top pick.
Was that hidden somewhere right at the back? Hello. Oh, have we glitched? I think it's glitched. Oh my.
Oh my effing G. That black figure where the stroller was in the beginning looked like a figure.
It did. I'm not even going to deny that. That is just creeped me out a lot.
Yeah, that was a doll that was in the stroller.
He definitely did.
So that brings us to our next segment.
Which is
It's our
what
tweet
is.
of the week.
This is tweet of the week.
This is what I found on Twitter. I thought it was funny. Oh, you can't really see it. Can you read it out?
Does that say ranch with spaghetti? Who hurt you? Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. Ranch with spaghetti. Who hurt you? So somebody tweeted this, and they wanted to brag about their ranch with spaghetti, and then someone commented, "Who hurt you?" So I just thought that was funny, and I got a related thing. Now, if you're Canadian, you know what this is. This is craft
Right.
dinner, and Canada is the biggest consumers of Kraft macaroni cheese, but we call it Kraft dinner here in Canada. The only place you call it KD is in Canada.
There you go. That's the fact of the day brought to you by Canada Dry,
And also by Sabre. It's
which is
time to come home.
our sponsor. Mine's actually turned up today. I'm actually really, really excited to get it out of the package.
Yeah, I think mine is the tracking, and my Sabre's on the way. I've already got a game that I bought for it, so I'm excited to play that.
Yep, it's cause as we mentioned before many times in the show, you can pretty much do anything. You can play games, you can watch videos, you can stream music, you can do pretty much you name it, you can do it on it, right?
And as Mr. Jeremy Isaac says, the vibration you only use for gaming, nothing else.
No, remember that.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. Just remember that. Yes.
Yes.
Dear. But yeah, obviously Saber. It's time to come home.
Sabre. All right. So this brings us to one of my favorite intros of the show. Around the effing game. And we're
This is your co-pilot speaking. Please be aware there is a slight turbulence on the northwest pilot. I just made that up for some reason.
Yeah, welcome to Around the Effing Galaxy, co-pilot Liam.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. So this is obviously where we've scoured the whole internet for the wrestling news of the week. Now
We scoured.
we scoured everywhere, right? We literally went
Scoured.
from top to bottom.
That's a
Now we've got
weird word, scoured, isn't it?
yeah.
Scoured.
It means searched.
Yeah, we searched the internet a little bit.
Yeah, just a tinty
A
winty bit.
little
Not
bit.
much. Not much. Not much.
All right, so I think the first one is it's a little bit sad.
Yeah, we're going to start with some sad one. I hope I said his name right because I do apologize if not. Lanny Poffo, have I said that right?
Yes, he's known originally as Leaping Lanny Poffo from the great Poffo family. Um, show the picture. And of course, that's Macho Man Randy Savage, their mother, and they're giving her a big old kiss before she passed away. And now, of course, all three of them are together again. And you know, I've been following him on Facebook, and if just seeing him just hugging random fans,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd always be posting pictures of his brother, just like this is Macho Man, oh yeah, and he's just like loving the shit out of his brother, and like
Yeah.
his brother's gone, but like he must have missed him terribly.
Yeah, I love it when it's like brotherly love. I mean, I will be honest, I know of him, but I've not followed his career, so I can't really obviously comment. But
Yeah,
when you lose,
he was originally Leaping Lanny Poffo,
mm-hmm.
and he would be the poet of the WWF/WWE, and before every match, he would say a poem about his opponents. And then later in the 90s, he became the genius Lanny Poffo,
Yeah,
and he would
but
just be the world's smartest man. So
nobody wants to lose somebody there. I'm a macho man. I'll be your.
she's singing to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Bree. Love you, Bree. I've just said that a bit loud. But yeah, of course, it's always sad, and obviously our thoughts and our prayers are with obviously the family at this time.
Yeah, in the wrestling world, we lost another legend.
Of course, of course. And then I don't even know what to say about that one. I mean, nobody wants to lose a wrestler in the community.
Well, the
No,
thing is,
and
Bryan Idol, one of our friends in the NWA, I messaged him and he said he knew him quite well, and they used to live 10 minutes from each other, and he wrestled him a few times in Canada here, and I also messaged Natalia, and she also knew him from a lot of meet and greets and stuff like that, and she was also saddened by it. So even Hulk Hogan, he tweeted today that he talked to to Lanny Poffo the other day, and everyone was kind of taken back by this because he was quite active on social media,
mm-hmm.
and just like it seemed out of nowhere.
No, of course, of course. Right, so next story we've got is Hell in a Cell match was apparently cut from Royal Rumble. Who was this match against, you ask? It was Edge versus Finn Balor. Now, this match was apparently cut because Edge was filming a movie.
Okay, so this is reported by Dave Meltzer, right?
So, yeah, so take this with a pinch of little teensy wincy pinch of
A
salt.
little salty. Not as salty as Haney, but just a little bit.
Just a teensy wincy bit. Yeah, this is obviously.
So yeah, I kind of question whether this is true or not. It seems a bit out there.
Yeah, the thing is, I felt like this Royal Rumble was only. The card was too short. I mean, we had 2 Royal Rumble matches. Yeah, that's 2 hours. But then there were 3 matches after that, and they weren't really, apart from obviously the main event, which was really good. The other 2 were really, really.
Yeah, I feel like they need to maybe whittle that, maybe whittle that card down to 25, or maybe make it the entrances between maybe shorter. I don't know if they need to get that a little bit shorter. Maybe start with maybe 4 people in the ring. Didn't they do that?
They did at one point. I mean, I know they're always changing the rules.
I think they did that for the women. I think they started with 4.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. I can't
I
actually
don't know.
remember it.
I don't know.
Uh, But yeah, what do you reckon though to this match? Would you actually love to see this Edge versus Finn Balor in Hell in a Cell?
I don't think they would have done it properly there
Right. Okay.
because like there's so much going on. I think it might have, it would have still been cool, but the buildup wouldn't have been there. Like it's just like all of a sudden you got Edge coming back, challenging him to one match, and then Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair comment, but yep, apparently that's obviously as we mentioned there. It's been reported by Dave Meltzer. So if people listening, take that with a pinch of salt and make your
And a
own.
little bit of pepper, just a little bit.
Just a tinty bit though, right?
Yes.
Of course, of course. Right. So next story we've got is Tony Khan has been talent have been told that ROH start taping in Florida by the end of February. I'm kind of excited for this because obviously we knew that obviously it was
Yeah.
coming.
I think that's going to be cool. You got the big uh, debut show. Um,
Hmm.
now they still haven't told us if the show's going to be an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Would you think
Like
it's going to be
you're
one
trying
or
to get
two?
people to sign up. You need to give a lot more details. You can't have a wait like signing up like a day before. You want people to be signing up pretty much the month of, right?
I think in the next couple of weeks, more details obviously will be released, like how long the show will be. But I'm more interested to see which talent goes to Ring of Honor. Do you know, obviously, so they get more TV time and stuff.
Yeah. Apparently, Chris Jericho was talking about Brian Cage today,
Hmm.
and he was praising him for his huge improvements. And in his opinion, he believes that Brian Cage should be re-signed to AEW.
Yeah, I kind of do. I kind of agree because I do actually think he's been underutilized so much. And I do obviously like him in the ring. I mean, he's really entertaining. But being part of the Ring of Honor triple tag, I think he's going to be on Ring of Honor more.
I think he would make a great Ring of Honor champion, like world
Yeah,
champion.
I mean, you can make the exception for quite a few of that talent. Agree, and obviously Brie agrees. He should be signed to AEW.
What do we got next?
Right, I'm going to show you a nice little image. Now, NBC is obviously in the headlines. So this says this is a kind of big. Dave Faber tells Nick Khan that Comcast NBCU is probably not in the run to buy WWE. Nick Khan said they are still bullish on Comcast being possible, but there's not much you can say about it. Well, we asked this question a while ago who's going to buy WWE, and the name we all agreed on was NBC, but it's looking highly unlikely. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm shocked that they're kind of out of it. I think there's still a shot, like a long shot, but um, which makes you think who is left. You got like Amazon Prime, which I think would
Yep.
be really cool to get it on Amazon Prime. Um, you got the Saudis,
Which
and you got Disney.
there you go. I mean, it's one of three, but
Maybe
I
even
know.
Netflix. Could you see? I don't think I couldn't see Netflix buying them.
No, I don't think that. I think the Amazon one's probably is a good shout now. Obviously, the Saudi one, I think a lot of people's going to be unhappy. More so, talent. I mean, I think we broke about it a while ago, saying that there's a lot of talent. Obviously, will be unhappy if they get sold to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that uh, you don't want to be bought by a country.
There you go. So, but what do you think? Do you think this is obviously? Do you think still NBC is a possibility? Is this just rumors? Or
uh, well, I think it's kind of a long shot. So I think there's always a possibility, right?
hmm.
But I think it's a long shot if they're reporting this.
Yeah, of course, we shall definitely see. But we all said NBC, but it's looking very unlikely. So right now, I don't have an answer of who it could be to buy WWE.
I
Yeah,
wanted a
rhymed.
platform that I'm already subscribing to, like Disney Plus or or Netflix or Amazon, so I don't have to worry about buying it. That's
Have
all
you
I
just
care.
have you just basically admitted on Wrestling with the Paranormal that you've obviously got Disney Plus?
I have Disney Plus. I got the password from my brother.
Oh, okay, okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're not judge. We don't judge
Of
on the
course, you
show.
met my brother last week on on the Magic of Wrestling,
That was fun. I was just going to say that was really, really fun. We did not see
and of
that
course,
coming.
my brother was molested by Uncle Howdy. Sorry about that. Allegedly molested. Of course, allegedly.
Yeah. At least he didn't get flagged. Yeah. Right. So we've obviously got two more stories left now. I think we put this on our effing wrestling page. Bryan Danielson says Vince asked him, "Is there anything AEW does better than WWE?" Do you want to tell people about this story?
All right, so Vince McMahon approached Bryan Danielson.
No,
911 is an amazing show on Disney Plus.
did not know that.
There's actually a show called Paranormal 911. You should check that out. It's an interesting one because you'd be surprised how many times the police get called for paranormal events that they can do nothing about. But the Bryan Danielson thing, Vince approaches him, and I guess he likes Bryan Danielson's mind for the business,
Mm-hmm.
and so he asks him, "Is there something that AEW is doing better than WWE?" So Bryan Danielson doesn't have an answer for him right away. He's like, he's away on maternity leave, um, and he's like, "Tell you what, I'm gonna watch some AEW, and I'm gonna get back to you."
Right.
So Bryan Danielson gets right into AEW. He starts watching the show after show after show after show, and he gets right into it. And so he goes back to this man and he tells him, he's like, "Listen, this is a wrestling show. They have a lot of wrestling, and your show, WWE, is a lot of character development with not a lot of wrestling. So you wonder if Vince McMahon pushed him out the door to AEW by
It
by
could,
by making him watch AEW."
no, I think when you actually think about it, do you actually kind of agree with them comments? Do you think AEW is more wrestling related, but WWE is more like this? That makes sense.
I think WWE is good at character development. Like everyone has even if you're lower on the card, you still have a character.
Mm-hmm.
Like Otis and Chad Gable with their shoes, please. They're not
Mm-hmm.
winning a whole lot of matches, but there's you still know what their character is. Um, Sometimes the same cannot be said for the lower guys in AEW.
I think that's a fair statement. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
So I think AEW could learn from WWE's character development as well.
I think that's a true statement. I can't really disagree with that. I think you said it pretty much well said. Yeah, I agree with that. Right, so we'll finish off
Uh,
with our last story. Now, Darby Allen obviously loses the title, but still goes over. Now, we obviously spoke about this, obviously, before we came on the show. This title change doesn't make sense to me, I've got to be honest.
yeah,
But
we have a number of people like Bree is commenting that she didn't like it. Not on the
interesting.
show, just she was telling
Uh,
us earlier.
okay, sorry, I went to the comment, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So like yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, but to me it made sense because um they wanted I believe they wanted to have the title uh be part of Muda's the great Muda's last match
Mm-hmm.
with Sting and Darby Allen. And I think they wanted to have an AEW representation there with the title. And also the Wardlow and Samoa Joe thing had to go on pause with Wardlow's injury. So giving the title to Darby Allen for a month, to me it's okay because you're able to raise up Darby Allen's stardom. He
Yeah.
becomes a bigger star. Um, when this all started, I hated Darby. I was sick of him. But ironically enough, that last match, I was blown away by how good Darby Allen was.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bree makes a valid comment here. Why not give it to Ethan Page then? Do you want to respond to that?
I don't think that would be believable for a month. You need to get Ethan Page over. You need him to have the title for a while. If for someone like Darby, feel like you can have a short run. For Ethan Page, I don't think you can do a short run like that. I feel like it would hurt him.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment, but I'm still a bit on the fence with this. I feel like changing the title so soon, really, I class it as a pointless run. But then you made the comment saying, "Well, maybe that's what they were looking for."
Yeah, and I think the whole thing about it is, if a championship run makes someone a bigger star, it's a success. A success.
That's a big word for you. Nearly struggled, didn't you?
It's a success. So, is Darby Allin a bigger star now? I believe the answer is yes.
Then yeah, I think that's a
If the
great
answer
little.
is no, then it was a flop. But if he's a bigger
Well,
star because of it, success.
well, I think that's a great thing to end the effing Galaxy news on. Darby Allin's the biggest star. There you go. Over to you.
Thank you for flying with us.
Dear. Right, so what we got next?
You have your choice of news airlines, and we appreciate your patronage.
Dear. Do you think we would become actually good pilots?
Oh yeah, I can fly the shit out of this plane. That's a T-shirt. I can fly the shit out of this plane.
Yeah, of course.
What if this plane is burning, about to crash?
Still playing the shit out of it, though, right?
Shirt, right?
There you go.
That'd be a good shirt, eh?
That would be a really good shirt. That's a shirt idea there. We're booking it.
The crashing, crashing shirt. I fly the shit out of this plane.
Right, so what we got next?
I believe we have Bull of Truth.
Boop. Bull or truth? Now, normally we have this from obviously the resident expert, Mr. Isaac, but unfortunately he's currently busy at the moment. So I thought Canada Dry said, let's do something a little different, right? Let me Canada Dry tell me a story and I've got to guess. And I actually suck at these, so this is going to be fun.
All right, so if you're watching the show and you're watching with us live, you can also comment whether you believe this is a true story or if you think it's a big old bull plop. So, story starts like this. So, I'm cutting my onions are watering. All right, so the story starts like this. There's this young man who's got this apartment, and it's a meager apartment, but he's you're starting out. You got your first apartment, and he has a cat. Now
Right.
this is his best friend. He loves this cat. The cat is they're just inseparable. They just love each other. Um, the, the cat sleeps with him at nighttime. The cat's always just bonking him on the head with his love. The cats do that. Um, but one day he comes home from work and he's looking for his cat, and his cat is nowhere to be found, and he's devastated. He loves this cat. He's looking all over for the cat. He's ringing doorbells, and um,
I have no idea what Bree is
I have
doing.
no idea. And, he's ringing doorbells, and he's looking for this cat. So he tells his manager of his building, "Listen, I'm so upset. I need my cat." Um, so the cat has gotten out somewhere. I don't know, but he he just kind of gives up for a bit, and he goes to bed and wakes up in the morning. He's got a bit of a headache. He's feeling kind of nauseous. He's wondering if this has something to do with his cat missing. Maybe he's just feeling, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just bad because of his cat. It's turned over to physicality, right? Um, and so, what this young man normally does when he wakes up, he has a cigarette and a coffee. It's just what he does every morning. He doesn't
Okay.
smoke outside; he smokes in the building. So he gets up to go get a light from his kitchen where he keeps his matches. He's about to light up when he hears meow, and he looks over, and his cat is sitting in the living room meowing at him.
And where will the
And
cat?
he's
What?
just so overjoyed that his cat is there. He runs over and he's looking at his cat, and the cat's kind of going like this to him, but not touching him. And all of a sudden, firemen break down the door and run in, and they're like, "You need to get out of the building. You need to get out of the building." And he's looking around. Hold on, I need my cat. And his cat was gone. It was disappeared. And so turns out there's a few people outside on stretchers with masks on their face.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's about to have his cigarette. So I'm going to have my cigarette out here. And his manager of the building, she said, "What are you doing? Don't you know there's a gas leak? And if you lit that cigarette, this whole place would be blown up?" All of a sudden, he realizes that if he would have done that inside, he would have been dead. And he eventually it's all cleaned up, and they're able to go back in their apartment. And uh, the landlady calls him, and she says, "Someone called me about your cat. They said it was run over, and um, it's at the animal hospital, so you can go there." So he goes there, and they're like, "I'm sorry, um, your cat was badly injured, and uh, he didn't make it." So it turns out the cat died and came back to save him
What? Wow.
and stopped him from lighting up his cigarette. Now the question is this: is this bull or is this true?
Wow. There's so many elements in this actual, story. I mean, just try and like.
Bree, if you want to let us know if you think this is bull or true, you can go first if you want.
Oh, I think you kind of upset Brie a little bit here.
Oh no, I know I had that happen to me too. It was very upsetting.
I'm gonna say, and I hope this story is. I'm gonna say it's true. If it's bull, I'm gonna be really upset.
Bree, would you like to guess if this is bull or truth?
Let us know, Brie. Do you think it's bull or
We'll
truth?
give it 10 seconds. 1, 2,
I'll
3,
take a 20
4,
just to type.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. This story is a big old pile of truth. It's true.
And as you
This,
said that, she actually commented saying
oh,
truth.
she got it true as well. You both got it right. This was an episode on celebrity ghost stories. I just watched it last night, and I thought it was a really cool story for Bullet Truth. So,
But
yeah,
can you just imagine that though? The actual cats obviously, saved that person's life.
which makes you think that animals, especially cats and dogs, have way more going on in their brains than we can believe.
That is true. I mean, I've always said that animals are smart.
Yes, absolutely.
I think I'm behind. No, you're not. We're fine.
Bree, how many fingers am I holding up? She might be able to help that.
Cats in it. Well, that is true.
Cats and the Egyptians. Do you know that when Yes, you're right. Ding, ding, ding. Did you know that when an Egyptian's, like if you're a real Egyptian, when your cat dies, you shave your eyebrows?
What?
Yeah, that's part of the ritual of being an Egyptian. And you have a cat, you shave your eyebrows when he dies to honor him.
Wow, I did not know that. That is
So if you see me
mind
with
blowing.
no eyebrows, it's a bad day.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep an eye out now for bad hair days. Right then, should we get into our main event?
I think it's time for the main event. Story time with Canada Drive, baby.
Get ready for the magic. Boom. Let's get to the point where we're actually here now. The Aquamen, just want to clarify that, of Lake Baikal.
Okay, so we actually have a couple pictures.
We do. We do. We've literally scoured the whole internet to get some
We have a
very.
couple pictures of one of the Aquamen.
I don't think people. Do you think they're ready for this?
I hope so.
Right, and then you ready? Okay, here's the first one.
I'm swinging a lasso while riding a manta. Oh, what does it say? Your argument is invalid. How do you swim? What I want to know is how do you swing a lasso while like underwater? Forget the
I
manta part.
I have no idea. I want to
Can
know
you
how
even
that.
swing a lasso underwater?
No, because it was just too wet. I think that's the
Yeah,
whole.
yeah. Okay, that
No,
was obviously a mistake.
yes, it was,
That
of
is
course.
not one of the Aquaman. But this is.
Yes, this is.
Oh, your wife has Aquaman fantasies, so you decide to fulfill her dream. The funny thing is the rake instead of the giant.
That's like Aquaman on a budget.
Yeah, he's got no money.
And I think a certain someone actually enjoyed that one.
Shut up, Aaron. Shut up.
Dear.
All right, so getting to the real story of the Aquaman of Lake um, Baikal. So uh, Lake Baikal is a short distance from Mongolia in Russia, and the part of Russia it's in is in Siberia. So if you know anything about Siberia, it's pretty much a wasteland of winter and desert combined.
Mm-hmm.
So it is actually the largest freshwater lake in the world, and ironically enough, it is also the deepest um, lake in the world. It goes down 1,600 meters. Is that not crazy?
That is bonkers.
Yeah. The weird thing about this place, it's teeming with life in Siberia.
Yep.
Um, there's 4,000 different species that live in that lake. And the funny thing is this that's the only place they're found in the world is in that lake.
Okay.
Um, I guess because part of there's springs that I guess hot water springs that come up from the bottom because it's
Uh-huh.
so far down that it's able to I guess warm the water a bit.
Yep, that's correct.
So there's people believe myth wise that there's a sinister monster that is hiding in this lake. Um, and it goes through tunnels to other different bodies of water, kind of like they say with Ogopogo and the Loch Ness monster and other sort of lake monsters. Um,
Haven't haven't we covered the Hogo Pogo one?
yes, we did, but this is they're kind of mentioning that they have one too. We have one too, um,
Mine's better than
and
yours.
anyway, so the legend is that people would get too close to the water, and this monster would grab up and pull them in and eat them. Um, so that's just myth. But in reality, um, a lot of people's fishing nets would be destroyed by some sort of creature, and cattle that would go get too near the water would go missing. So it's kind of interesting that the reports of this, I guess, sea monster in the lake, um, it was 10 meters in length, and its jaws covered
Mm-hmm.
2/3 of its body. So most of its jaws.
Yeah.
Um, so aside from that, Lake Baikal is known for uh, the Aquamen. Now, um, bizarre UFO craft began appearing over Lake Baikal, and not just over, but inside the lake, you would see strange lights come and glow out of the water. Um, Now, the occupants have interacted. The occupants of the ships would interact with people, and mostly like training divers and stuff like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so this goes back to 2009.
Oh, so it's not
Uh,
too long ago, really, is it?
well, this is when it all came out.
Okay.
So in 2009, rumors of a tragedy began to surface 30 years prior. So this is when the information came out. This went
Mm-hmm.
down 30 years, and that's in the 70s, or 1982. So, a declassified Soviet intelligence report in 1982, um, and it was in the summer of 1982 during a training exercise at Lake Baikal. And so the first everything was just going normal for the army or whatever, the navy, whatever they were. They were doing some training, doing some diving into the lake, and everything seemed to go be normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple days into it, um, some trainees were down in the water, and they were distracted by three figures not too far from them. They seemed to materialize out of nowhere. And these creatures, uh, they were they had no breathing devices. They had a silver outfit, like suits,
Yeah.
but they had these weird, strange helmets that just kind of covered their head like a lampshade. And I guess they were humanoids, but the really thing that stood out besides the lampshade was they were 3 meters tall.
Oh, so they weren't really that. Oh wait, no, 3 meters. Damn it,
Three
that's
meters is pretty big.
yeah.
um, so, if I think we have a real picture, we had Aquaman and jokes, but we do have a real picture, right?
Oh, we did have. It's not put it on. I do apologize.
All right, so you'll see it if you look at if you see this after, you'll see it in our clip art. Um, but yeah, um, so there's a bit of a standoff between these creatures and the divers. So you're just kind of like staring at each other. And I guess the Aquaman decided that these men were not a threat, and they just turned around and went away. So the divers went back up to the surface. They reported to the commanding officer what they had seen, and this is where shit went down because the 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 officer in charge decided that if he could catch one of these, he would be a big deal and he'd get a big promotion because I'm the guy who ordered the capture of these strange creatures, right? It would raise you up. You're just looking for glory here.
So I was
So
thinking more. Sorry, so I was thinking more about obviously glory than anything else.
yeah, he's thinking about how this could help his future. So he decides he's going to pick 7 of his strongest men and his strongest swimmers. and they are going to try and capture one of them. So they go down to where they were previously reported, and sure enough, they weren't there for very long. They shine their lights, and out comes these creatures again. They got nets with them, they got hooks, they got chains, all sorts of things like that. And as soon as one of the guys moved towards them just a little bit with a net, uh, one of the creatures pulled out some sort of gun or something. It looked silver or something, and pointed it at them. And all of a sudden, the water started turning into a whirlpool all around them, and it just was just crazy amounts of, like, almost like a storm was going on. And
Mm-hmm.
there was a turret, and it sucked them all back to the top. Uh, uh, but the problem is they were suffering from decompression sickness. Now they had uh, not enough devices to get everyone in.
Mm-hmm.
So while you were able to decompress four people, while the other three were waiting to get in this decompression device, they died. So out of those seven, three of them died.
Wow. So you literally picked 70 of your best divers and only three's returned.
No, four made it, three died.
No, 3 out of the 4. Well, is that right? Have I said that wrong?
Yeah, three died. Yeah,
Okay, so it is 4. Yeah, sorry. Okay,
four made it. Four,
just 4.
and I'll make the
Yeah.
tag over to you.
Thank you very much. Now, obviously, I'm going to carry on obviously with the story which kind of I just mentioned. Now, apparently, with this story, it remains a mystery. Which, if these people actually interacted with the beings which they encountered, so it's still not known whether they actually interacted with them. It's still up in the air, if that makes sense. Now, apparently, during this time, training was suspended to prevent any loss of life. So, after all this incident, any type of training around this area was pretty much cancelled. Which, when you've just seen obviously that, I think that's probably the most plausible thing. Would you agree?
I agree.
Oh dear. Now, apparently, there's no report to speculate the origins of the Lake Baikal swimmers, or Aquamen as we call them. So, this the thing is with this, there's so much mystery, involving these. Now, luckily, there's not just this report. Now, we're going to fast forward to, or back to 1977. A Soviet army of sciences.
Oh, I'm doing disco. 1973, baby.
77.
Oh, well, still doing disco.
Now, an army of sciences was able to purchase a pair of Canadian, by the way, I'm just going to clarify that, built submersible. So I think that's another word for, like, submarine type things.
I don't think they're quite submarines. I think they're those things with the glass on them, and you're able to kind of
Yeah,
go down.
I still class them like as submarines, though. Would you agree?
Two-person submarines.
Yeah, something like that. And then the respect of the name Pisces 2 and Pisces 7. Now, these are obviously to carry out surveys as they do. Standard things?
Yeah.
Now, in a 6-week period, the Soviet managed to do over 42 dives and to a depth of 1,400 meters. Now, remember you said it was 1,600 meters?
Yeah.
So they've nearly hit the bottom, just on that thing overall. Now, several scientists were exploring the lake bed on Pisces 7. As they floated to the bottom, apparently the interior of their actual, is it a craft? I want to say craft or
We have
sub?
a comment there. Can you read that out?
Of course. Oh, thank you. I don't know this kind of Aaron is.
He's a hell of a guy. What a nice guy.
But yeah, apparently, as they float to the bottom, its interior bathed in what was known as an eerie yellow glow. So apparently, it literally just lit up the whole thing. Now,
Wow.
they're obviously looking around to see where this thing was, and they literally could not actually find it at all. But they found that it got really, really bright, but then all of a sudden, literally just vanished in the distance. They literally just like something went past. If you know what I mean, is that probably the correct term?
Yeah, I wonder. Like, this makes you think. Like, what's going on here?
Yes, of course. Now, after this incident, they obviously went back up to obviously to the surface to see what happened. Now, the first thing they thought was the other sub, obviously, has gone down there, to look around. But it was reported that the other sub obviously remained on the surface to carry out what was known as. I need to turn away off the comments because it's really putting me off.
I was like, what's so funny about the subs?
Now, yeah. So the other sub obviously remained on the surface. Now, this was to carry out what was known as maintenance. But then there was no reports of any other submarine or any other type of, things around the area. So even to this day, it still remains a mystery what this eerie yellow glow was. What do you think it is? What does it sound like to you? Just while
Well,
we're
it
on the
definitely
topic.
had something to do with the Aquaman, the swimmers.
Yeah. Now, encounters with the craft in the sky may not always purely relate to extraterrestrial. This is really interesting. Now, sightings have taken place on a large body of water with the vessels involved sometimes being observed to emerge from or dive from the water. Now, this was really there was a few weird stories on this one. Now I'm going to butcher this name. Oleg Chewin. I know I've said that wrong, but I'm just going to go with it.
Olav chewing Chewbacca.
Oleg Chuatabaka.
Yes.
Now, Oleg was obviously out in the lake with several students. Just like standard, student type things. Now, his attention was obviously like diverted to what was known as a blinking red light in the distance. So, like, listen, they're just there, just minding their own business. Then there's a red light in the distance. Now, the light began to approach them. Obviously, it's what was described as some speed. So, literally, it's like just coming just straight for them. And it was described as just above the surface. So, literally, you got a red light just coming towards you. Now, when I read this, the first thing I thought was, is this another boat? Now, as the light was obviously traveling, it was described as a pulsating light. So, like, like a blinker type thing?
Well, it's kind of like that clip show thing where we saw the blue light, but it's red.
Yes, of course. And that was also described as a single solid ball. Now, as it got no sooner than 700 meters away from obviously the boat, the orb decided to enter the water, so it like went under. Do you know where the boat passed beneath them? Then it decided to resurface and shoot up into the sky. So what's happened is that's the boat there. It's gone like that under, bang. It's like gone under. It's really weird.
Yeah, that is this whole story altogether is perplexing, right? Um, to me, it's one of the weirdest ones we've ever told.
Yes, absolutely. Now, there's another similar story to what we've just mentioned there. Now, Sergei Konik, I'm just going to say Konik because I'm not going to butcher his name, had a similar story. Now, his young son obviously called him onto the balcony to see a strange light over the water, but this time it wasn't red, it was orange. Now, it was doing like a vertically, like a vertically type thing? And it descended, basically went straight up, straight back down. It was really like a rocket, coming up and coming back down. I just cannot get my head around this story. This is probably the most baffling story we've ever actually done. I just want to say that.
Yeah, like, and his Aquaman, these Aquaman, are they evil?
We don't know. But just before obviously sticking with this, obviously story from Sergey, Before this light actually entered the water, an identical light appeared next to it, and it began to sway. And it was like it was described as it was as though there was like chasing each other, like the balls of light.
So they're like chasing each other like cats and dogs running around a room.
Yes, but like light type thing. Now, when I thought of that, this is going to sound really, really weird, but the first thing I thought of was spirits, like chasing each other.
Yeah, that's possible, but how do you get the Aquaman out of this?
I don't know. I think there's more
It's
than one.
weird. Like, could this be a water version of a Skinwalker Ranch?
It could be. It could be.
Like, we talk
Now,
about the All Stars, where you have the monster, the sea monster, and then you have the Aquaman, and now you have the UFOs and the lights.
yeah. Can you just read that comment out a second? Because I've got a little theory on this.
Bree says, makes me wonder, are aliens hiding in our oceans? Dun, dun,
Now,
dun.
now, this is apparently an interesting thing, and the reason I say that is one of the theories is this that UFOs actually originate from underwater, not from the sky.
Dun, dun,
That's
dun.
that is actually one of the the theories. Now, apparently, the reason that is for is so they can refuel what their vessels and stuff like that.
Well, with Transformers where the Decepticons' original base was?
Underwater.
Yes, it was an underwater ship that would come up out of the water when they would let them fly out, and then it would go back under. So, and they were they were aliens too.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, I think there's more than one thing going off at this lake.
Yeah, it's definitely perplexing. And that we never heard any more about the Aquaman after that.
No, it's all
It's all
completely.
orbs and stuff.
Yeah, there's no testimonies on this either, so it's all mystery.
Yeah, you get the testimony of the four men who lived with the Aquaman,
Yep.
and then you get the odd story from the orbs of random people.
So are we looking at the same like type thing? Are we looking at two different ones? Do you think the orbs and the
I think
Aquaman?
they're the same. I think they're the same. The weird look with the lamps, the helmet of that, but like the helmet serves no purpose.
No, I just thought
It's
spaceman
just there for
underwater.
looks. It's just aesthetics, totally. It's not covering, letting them breathe or anything.
Yeah, it's. I think this is probably the most baffling episode we've obviously done. Do you know the story wise?
Yeah, we can't really do a dissection of it because it's just like out there. It's just like this is what happened, right? We got
Yeah.
no theories at all. That's to me. There's no theories at all. It's just too blah.
No, but that's the only theory. Obviously, what is on this that apparently it's UFOs apparently originate from underwater, which is probably the most interesting one.
The other theory is that they're from another dimension and their portals underwater.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't even think I can think of a knowledge is power moment for this because this is absolutely. What can we
We're
say?
gonna try. We're gonna try. We're gonna try.
Okay. Shall we get on to the next segment then?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready to educate everyone.
Okay. Excuse me. So, what can we say? What can kids learn from what we spoke about today?
Well, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first? I don't mind. Either way.
I'll try and go first. We'll try and go
Okay.
with it, right? Kids,
Because last time it backfired on you. I took the good one.
kids, come closer, right? You know, when you get to that age, right, and your parents say, "Do you want to go like skiing, or do you want to go high jumping, or do you want to go swimming?" If your parents ever say to you, "Do you want to go swimming?" Right, just refuse, right? Just don't, right? Because when you go into that water, you would never know what's under it. It could be aquaman, could be fish, could be sharks, could be boats. You don't know. So my advice to you is, kids, stay on dry land.
Okay. So my knowledge of power moment is this. So you lost your cat, and you're about to have a cigarette, and your cat appears warning you. Don't light the cigarette. Your cat's telling you not to do it. There you go. Knowledge is power. It really is. I just pretty much summarized the whole story over again, just a little bit.
I mean, you're technically not lying, right?
Yeah, if your cat warns you not to light a cigarette, listen. And also, don't smoke. Don't smoke.
Kids, don't smoke. Don't smoke.
That's right. There we go. Positivity.
There you go. Right, that pretty much wraps this. I've actually enjoyed today's show. Have you?
I enjoy every single episode I do with you, Liam.
Oh,
you're a pleasure.
Of course, it's a pleasure's always mine.
You're
But
the best
anyway,
tag team in the world. Don't tell JP I said that.
I'm on the show Sunday, so I'm mine.
Don't tell him.
Speaking of which, what we got on the show Sunday?
All right. So this is a new concept I came up with, and I came up with it while I was sleeping. You might be sleeping when you're sleeping, but I'm coming up with shows while I'm sleeping. So this show on Sunday is called Canada Dry's Top 5. Now, what is Canada Dry's Top 5? So this is the top 5 up-and-coming wrestlers, male wrestlers, in AEW, WWE, and like anywhere. So people that are going to be in the main event scene in a couple years. So the only people that can be part of this is up and coming wrestlers. If you're already a world champion, you don't qualify. So you're not in the main event scene. You can be on my list. So we're gonna find out. We'll have another show for them. We will. They're a separate show. Liam and the expert and JFB are going to make picks, and I'm going to have to do the hard thing and pick which one of theirs I'm going to select, or maybe I'll pick one of my own. Who knows? Yeah.
And don't forget, obviously, on the Magic of Wrestling tomorrow, somebody's going to win a nice little T-shirt. Obviously,
maybe Bree.
Maybe Bree, maybe Canada Dry. We've got loads of questions. We put the question out saying it doesn't have to be wrestling related. I've seen some of the questions and people's not disappointed. I'm just going to say that, by the way.
I saw some of those questions. Like, they were pretty good. I'm impressed.
Yeah. And of course, so yeah, don't forget, that's obviously tomorrow night. I'm not picking the winner. The expert is. I've not said anything to him, so I don't know who he's going to pick, but it's going to be fun to answer all them questions.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, if you like T-shirts, you can visit our T-shirt shop at Pro Wrestling Tees /F and Wrestling. And of course, we got the beautiful Natalia Markova, the face of F and Wrestling, and she's wearing the beautiful All of It Wrestling Show shirt. And of course, if you like old school wrestling, and we know you do, you can visit Pro Wrestling Tees /Adrian Adonis. And we got this beautiful, adorable Adrian Adonis shirt here. I love that shirt. I have to get that one myself. And of course, tell them where you can go to join AFW and see our news and all that other kind of stuff.
Of course. So you can head to fmwrestling.com and you can find all our social medias on there. No, at the bottom. There we go. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter. And you can also find us now on wherever you get your podcast. That could be Spotify, Apple. We're pretty much everywhere. So this show will obviously be live on Spotify tomorrow. Yes. We're also adding all the past episodes on the Sunday. So you're getting 2. Do you know what I mean? Every week you're getting 2. We like to give back, right?
Yeah. So if you're in your car and you're wondering, where can I get some wrestling with the paranormal? I don't have access. You just put on the podcast and listen to the audio.
Of course, and then you don't have to see Canada Dry's glitching computer or my stupid face.
Or my stupid computer and your glitchy face.
I don't glitch.
Oh, your face is glitching out like crazy. Just
Is
kidding.
it really?
Uh, and of course, I want you to know when you buy a T-shirt, I pray for every time you buy a shirt, I pray for you because I see your name. It emails me when whoever's doing it, and so I'm able to put a name there, and I pray for you and pray that that shirt, when it touches your skin, will bless you.
Of course, of course. So, with that being said, on behalf of the Effie Magician in Canada Dry, any final words from Canada Dry?
Remember to just keep fighting.
Okay, don't mind me. I'm just looking at my list here. Right, so what we got? We've got Watch It Evaporate, fund a project to research the process of evaporation, go swimming, give it a name and call it ocean, pour some sea monkeys and watch them grow.
What is this list that you're doing today?
It's things to do with a glass of water.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.